right, episode 316 of the Poor Horsemen. You got LP here.
Yes, JC is back.
Dr. Phil. JC, I'm sticking with it.
We also got
Silk.
and it's only right. I think it was about this time last year, close to it.
Damn near, yeah.
Maybe a little after. December. About December last year. Well, first she found us at OU Texas somehow in a crowd looking for Phil.
Yeah, I found the handicap.
That was this time last year.
He was crippled. I said, you, the crippled one. I need to talk to you.
He was crippled. You was like, I need to be on y'all's show now.
Yeah.
And we was like, why do you want to be on our show? And the blessings that have bestowed us after you came on our show are uncomparable. So there's some nicknames that she's got now. Legal bestie, y'all know her as. Mm-hmm. They also said she was like Beyonce mixed with who are the names that you got at the Congressional Black House?
I got Nancy Grace mixed with Cardi B.
Yeah, Nancy Grace mixed with Cardi B.
And it's with a little Whitley Gilbert in there.
I mean, Symone has been doing a world tour.
Hold on. Didn't you say something? Somebody said a puppet.
What?
No, you said something last time. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll get to it.
I say weird shit.
But please introduce yourself again. No, everybody knows you.
Hey y'all, I'm Attorney Symone, your legal bestie, and you can find me on my YouTube channel, which is called Girl, Is That Legal?
And the YouTube channel.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing? That's what it's called.
That is a great fucking name.
Like an 80s sitcom.
It's
like,
because,
you know when they say a pun and then they just go, girl, is that legal?
It's because over the years, like my homegirls would call me with all their problems, and at the end of the day, they would always conclude it with, girl, is that legal? Can they do that?
Think about like the early season of Family Matters when it was like really old. And let's say Lord Winslow is approached with some weed, and then you hear out of nowhere Grandma Estelle come out of nowhere. Girl, is that legal? That's what that sounds like to me.
I'm gonna make that my new theme song.
You want KC to get
do it again. Say it again one more time.
Girl, is that legal?
That's perfect. Now we have you here for one reason. We know what it is. Yeah. We enjoy your company. We do.
For sure.
Thank you.
But for today, we needed a real breakdown, because if we were required to break down this Diddy situation, it'd have been talking about 1,000 bottles of baby oil.
Yep.
We'd have been talking about
700
freak
dildos.
offs. Look, you already going too far.
I'm sorry.
Now,
so
hold on. Keep the big words to a minimum.
Dildo is not a big word.
I'm just saying, hold on. When you get to your legal stuff,
okay.
we can follow you.
Yes, sir. Gotcha.
All right, go ahead.
So
duly noted.
We guess that you have already poured through the indictment, the documents.
Yeah.
You've probably done several pieces of research. I watched a live stream that you did, or I don't even know if it was live, but on your YouTube, where you've already started to break down. You even had a custom thumbnail that I didn't even know Diddy had these pictures. Like she found, I don't know if it was AI or what, but she had a thumbnail. And I was like, I didn't even know he took these photos at one point. So you've clearly done your research. So we just want to give you the floor.
Thank you.
The first question that people were going back to is when you mentioned almost over a year ago now that Diddy is done. You said that back in December of 23.
Mm-hmm.
So we just gonna give you the floor because you were right. And what led you to that conclusion as you started looking at the details?
Because I'm an attorney, and I know I'm silly and I'm fun, but I'm like also quite brilliant. I was one of the first attorneys.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah. That's why y'all bring me back, right? If I was just sitting up here shucking and jiving and cooning and tap dancing for you, yeah, it wouldn't happen. But I was actually one of the first attorneys that sued R. Kelly. I think I was the first. Sued R. Kelly in civil court for basically doing similar things, right, to his victims. And I saw how that then led to criminal, his basically life sentence. And I saw that same thing was going to happen here, because a lot of people have the misunderstanding that when you file a civil complaint, oh, you're just in it for the money. No. Sometimes you start there because that's how you start the churning of justice, especially when it's a public figure. Because what happens is the feds and the state attorneys don't like looking like an idiot. The minute you start in a civil complaint claiming somebody has committed a crime against you, everybody turns to the prosecutors and be like, why aren't y'all prosecuting this person? That's what happened here. And so I could see that was coming because I actually believe Cassie. You know, I think we believed her before a lot of other people did. Now, there was some subsequent complaints that come out. They're a little weird. There was, what's the guy? Lil Rod, alleging all this butt stuff and this, that, and the third. And I really feel like Lil Rod, I feel like he was unpaid. And if he had been paid, we wouldn't have heard any of this. Go ahead.
I just want, and I know, I'm sorry, I want you to let you cook. But when you get started, can you talk about, and I know people want to hear about the joke. We're going to have jokes, but the sex shit. But I want to get into the actual stuff he did.
Yeah.
So why did, and you know, I know you're going to get into why they picked him up when they picked him up.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll start with that. So what was interesting is they did not allow this man to turn himself in. Generally, that's what you do in these kinds of things because it ends up being safer for everyone involved. They said, nah, we sick of your ass. We coming to get you. And they came and got him the night before. So he was supposed to, he was expecting to be able to turn himself in the following day, which is why there were a lot of photos floating around of him shooting the shit. He was standing outside of the Hyatt in New York City, just making friends with strangers. He don't like people.
He was doing that before, though.
But he's been doing this like
I'm talking about since this. Yeah,
correct.
He's been walking on the beach and all that shit. Yeah.
To create an image. So the 3 charges that he was charged with once arrested. Oh, and here's what's important. When they got him off guard, one of the things they found in the hotel room was the pink cocaine. The pink cocaine, which was discussed in Lil Rod's petition. He talked about how Young Miami used to obtain that for them for their little sex party. Well, interestingly, the judge then referred to the fact that he had that in his hotel room when he was getting arrested as a reason why to deny bail.
Wow.
She said she believed that he has a drug problem and that he don't need to be able to sit in his $50 million house, do drug, fuck bitches, and have a good high-ho time. He needed to sit in prison like the rest of the poor people.
I mean, he may be doing. I'm not gonna say my joke. I'm gonna leave.
Let's save the jokes.
It might be good.
I would save it. Okay. All right. Serious topics.
Yeah.
Him not being able to turn himself in, to me, kind of made this more serious in his mind.
Yes.
I think all before he probably was like, I'm gonna turn myself in. I'm gonna post bail. I'll be back home tonight.
That is always what happens with rich people.
Yeah.
So yes, he thought, and what's significant is he paid off his $48 million mansion with the expectation he was going to pay that off so he could use it as collateral, bond out, boom, chill at home in Miami. Baby, let me tell you, that bond hearing, I ain't never seen something so hilarious in my life. His lawyer was so desperate. Not only did he mention, we're going to put up that house. They also put up for bond all him and his kids, the minor children, all of their passports, his passports, all of their passport. I think his mama passport, his baby mama's passport. He offered his mom's house as collateral as well, her house in Miami. And they said they'd hire a security team who would station 3 men in the house. He would never leave the house. He would also be on an ankle monitor. They'd take away his internet and he wouldn't have any women in the house. When the judge was like not trying to hear it due to the fact that he tampers with witnesses and had done so soon as the week prior, we can get into that. The judge was like, and the judge is black, by the way. You could tell by the way the judge was talking.
She wasn't playing.
That judge sounded like somebody's granny with a spanking spoon.
She was not playing.
Because at one point, when his attorney realized he was losing, he says, "But Your Honor, he was an altar boy." The judge says, "How long back are we going?" And he said, well, he went to church. He reads a sermon every day. And I'm thinking, yeah, T.D. Jenks, swallow up.
Chill.
That's
crazy. Have you ever been swallowed?
Swallowed.
Have you ever been
all of this,
swallowed?
so it's just been unseen. However, now initially I thought it was unfair because I thought, well, R. Kelly got bond. He was given $1 million bond. He had some quackadoo lady put up $100K. But that was state court. The truth of the matter is, R. Kelly, Harvey Weinstein,
Right.
Thank you. One of them.
Right.
Yeah, Harvey, R. Kelly, and him, their federal charges, none of them got bond. He had to sit.
What about Cosby?
His wasn't federal. His was state.
Okay.
Yeah, his was state. And so he got bond.
So
state is different.
So why do you So why don't they take the $50 million?
Here, because he was tampering with witnesses.
Okay. So they don't give a damn how much he would.
Yes, because the thing is, you can be at your house all you want, but you still have the ability to tamper with witnesses. So they cited the fact that Kalina Harper, that was one of the women that was listed in Don's lawsuit. He called her 54 times in one day, just before all of this. And then called her a total of 144 times in the course of like a week and a half, 2 weeks.
No, you're talking about Dawn that was in the singing group.
Correct. Yeah. So not Dawn. He didn't call her, but he called one of her witnesses.
But my question about some of these people who are filing these lawsuits, like Diddy just came out with an album. Was it last year?
I was about to get into
She was on it.
Yeah.
Oh, was
Like
she?
I think she has
Dawn?
a credit. I think Dawn has writer credits on that album. So my question is, if he's doing all of this, if he's this big bad evil person, which I'm not saying he's not, but if you're saying that he is, and you've known him since I want to say I was in high school when that show was on.
Oh, that's so
Why do you
cute.
continue to go back? Why do you go back and continue to work with him if that's the case? Like
I think it's that's a very legitimate claim. And I believe her attorneys would argue because she was never paid before, she was so desperate and he would dangle in front of her the chance of, well, you'll get paid now for everything. It's still a questionable argument. But I actually believe the bigger issue that Dawn has with her lawsuit is the statute of limitations. See, when Cassie filed, she was able to file because New York law had reopened the statute of limitations for 1 year that gave him until November of 2023. She filed within that. The problem is Dawn's lawsuit acknowledges Dawn did not file in that statute of limitations. She didn't file until now. The excuse that she gives, or reason, however you look at it, was Cassie's lawsuit gave her the bravery to file. Girl, that ain't the law. That is not the law.
Right.
She's trying to claim trafficking and all of these things. Now, those things help extend the statute of limitations. But ultimately, although I believe all of these things happen to Dawn, Dawn's issue is she should have been filed back when Cassie filed. If she had, Dawn, you would have had your coins because Dawn too was an employee, would have triggered employee insurance and would have got the money from the insurance adjuster and not had to crawl after Diddy for his money.
So initially we thought it was just an insurance, like not an insurance play, but they knew they can bring those policies into question.
Yes.
It's past that now.
Correct.
Yeah. So
they can still do that. But now the reason Dawn's lawsuit hadn't settled quickly is because when that much money, all of those policy limits are on the table. So with Dawn's case, it's probably around $30 million. That insurance company says, you know what? We're going to take our chances with at least first filing a motion to dismiss based on the statute of limitations. If we lose that motion, then we'll give you some money, Dawn.
With your lawyer mind, when you see him start giving back pub to all his old artists and all that, like back maybe a year ago he was doing that.
Yeah, that's cute.
So what do you think of that? And can that be used to his detriment?
I believe he was trying to sell the label, or he had something more going on. See, Diddy doesn't do anything out of the kindness of his heart. Right. I actually don't know that he has a heart.
G-Dip a couple weeks ago.
Right. I don't know that he has a heart. Like, if I end up in hell, I think he's going to sit next to me. You know, I hope I don't. I'm Catholic and stuff, but we'll see.
Well, he was too, huh? Altar boy.
We'll see.
He was an altar boy also.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God. That
may be the issue.
Very well for me. Yeah.
Never
Shut
mind.
up.
Never mind.
But okay, I asked that question just to say that because they're using stuff in court. In hip hop, they using this stuff in court. They using everything they can get. So with that,
also, like, I would say to that end, though, a lot of the people, like how he's giving the stuff back, he's giving it back for albums. Like, don't nobody listen to that no more. Who listens to Days 26? Raise your hand.
He's just trying to see if who's
I ain't gonna lie. Perfectly Blonde is my jam.
Yeah. No, Day 26 got some shit.
Nah, Perfectly Blonde is my jam. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, I thought that he was trying to silence for later, for now.
Well, also, it's my understanding that in exchange for that, he had people sign away their right to sue him for certain things. Right. That is likely more so the reason he did that.
So that's the reason for the name change to Love and all that type of shit. It's part of a plan
that'll be
to change his image.
Branding and his image.
Because he changed the name. Then he started giving.
But I think that was during the time period when, he was referring to the dark period when he gave that apology online. I think that was during that time. So I think during that time, there was a lot of I think he might have been spinning out.
I think he got a notice.
Maybe so.
What kind of notice?
Cassie, he started getting wind. Oh, she about to start talking.
To be very clear, Cassie and Cassie's lawyers were negotiating with him for months. If y'all remember, there was the award ceremony, BET Awards, and out of nowhere, he thanks Cassie, even though Young Miami is standing in there with a "Hey Papi" sign, waving it all above her head, raiding around like she was Petey Pablo. Okay,
right.
And everyone is like,
she was.
No, she
was. She making noise.
Hey. And everyone is like, why is he shouting out Cassie and old girls over here Petey Pabloing it up for him? And I believe the answer was, at that time, Cassie's lawyers were negotiating with his lawyers. And he was like, I'm going to give her this shout out. I'm going to let her know I'm still in control. But babe, you're on my good side. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Shh.
Didn't he get the lifetime achievement?
Something like that.
That was that award. That is crazy.
Maybe that's the trigger. R. Kelly got his just before he ended up getting locked up. That's the trigger. The fans be watching. So my mom used to say, don't ever be on Black Enterprise because after you do, the IRS will audit you.
Oh.
I think there's something to it. Yeah. It happens.
So, man, that's
Mamas
tough.
be knowing.
Right. So now, in this, other rappers now have came out about the trafficking piece because in the indictment it talked about and being flown out is a real thing, and like especially you wild over there with that Jello shot. That was the wildest thing I've ever seen.
I thought I was watching porn.
I'm sorry.
Damn, I missed
Show you how it's done, boy.
What is
It's real
going
good.
on?
Don't be nasty.
That was wild. Okay,
I'm hungry.
but that's not gonna cure your hunger. Like,
We don't know that.
Yes, we do.
That's gonna make you hungry.
It's sugar.
You know what?
It's
I'm not a doctor.
glucose.
Look, all right.
Man, check.
Several entertainers are now, hey, I've flown people out. You fly the party to you. You fly the women to where you are, etc. And they're now discovering that could be trafficking.
It's getting flued out trafficking.
That's what it's in. Now,
you ain't flew nobody out. You look like you tried to make them go 50-50.
Shit, I'll be proud to say
You make go 50-50. You put them bitches on Spirit Airlines. Tell the truth.
What the fuck?
That's what you think?
I do.
Don't say yes, man.
Hey, just pay for this.
No, I'm not gonna say nothing.
Just
He's
pay
not
for
gonna
this.
say that because I'm telling the truth.
Hey, just pay for the C selection. You good? Just pay for the C selection. You good?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Y'all do not. Y'all, that's PPM. That's
Frontier is the
managers.
worst.
Don't
Nah,
let
that's
them
your
put you on
girl,
Frontier. He don't care about you.
Absolutely
That's your girl.
not.
That's
What do you
your
think?
girl.
Nah,
That's
If
your
that
girl.
man puts you on
United is your
Frontier,
girl.
he don't care if you
He's
die.
just trying to get out here.
Nah,
She know what it is.
Frontier, so
She know you broke already.
Frontier is legit soul
wild,
plane.
She know you broke already.
I flew to
Frontier
Nashville
barely got
Frontier.
seats.
Frontier
Dog,
really got
You
seen.
trying to you trying to pipe, so you gonna make sure she good.
Yeah,
on the
but
way
the
over there.
Frontier seat is only
Bro, I'm
$39.
gonna put somebody on Spirit or
Dog.
come on.
The seats on
I ain't gonna lie to you,
Frontier.
Simone.
The
I'm a
seats
real
on Frontier
player.
look like that.
You
They're
what?
foldable
Get
chairs,
yourself
bro.
here and you gonna have a good time once you get here type of
Nah,
dude.
you don't know me. I'm a real
Oh.
player.
All right.
Somebody told me that
That's
this week.
cool though. I get it.
Oh, okay.
That's a good
Back to
joke.
it, back to
I had a flashback. Somebody told me to get myself there, and I had to. I'm not there. No, I'm not there. They were like, just get yourself here. I'm not there. But no.
Is that a real thing? Now, granted, we know that they were doing things against their will.
Okay,
But,
no.
yeah.
So here's the difference: coercion or not. If you just pay someone, so there are 3 charges that Diddy is facing. Okay, one is the RICO charge. A second one is prostitution with interstate commerce. Okay, that's why if you get you a prostitute, don't take her to Miami. Fuck her in Dallas. Keep her in state.
Right.
Don't cross the lines with that pussy.
Yeah.
Don't you do it.
Hey,
I'm your bestie. I'm your legal
It don't
bestie.
matter if she's willing.
No, even if she's willing, it's still prostitution across state lines. I'm saying keep your prostitutes in state. That's all I'm saying.
And you was talking about me?
Well, I'm just giving the facts. She told me to tell
So
everybody
if
the
you meet
law.
a girl in Atlanta,
Yeah,
and
do
you
it to
don't
her in
Keep her in
Atlanta.
Georgia.
Keep her in Georgia.
Keep her in Georgia. Don't bring her to Texas.
Take her to Macon.
Damn, she can't be
No.
my friend?
Nah.
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 No.
Hold on.
She got to pay for herself.
No. Only if she's a hooker. But also, here's an important distinction.
We can never hit no hooker now.
One of the important distinctions here is that Diddy would actually use an agency to hire his hookers, right? Now, the agency is claiming they're not supposed to be doing it to people. Okay, it's just supposed to be a date. They're just supposed to be modeling. Escorts. You a fucking lie. First of all, we know because I dated one of Diddy's sex workers. I've told you that story before.
Wait, no, you're not.
Oh, I didn't?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so.
Hold on. What? This is my first episode with Symone, so you are taking me fast. I'm just.
What is this?
Yeah, no, for real. Like, I'll show you the picture. I'll show you the picture. It's a guy. I'm going to show you the picture, but we're not going to.
So one of the guys that
is one of the niggas that tied
in the cage.
He's subpoenaed.
It's one of them dudes that tied up Bessie Smollett.
He got subpoenaed, all right.
He got subpoenaed.
Shit.
No, I mean,
God
he was like gay a little bit. He was like 49% gay.
49.
So
you got.
Wait, hold on. Don't worry about looking up the pictures.
So you dated the 51?
No, you need to see him. He's not doing anything bad.
Folks.
But in retrospect, if you look at him, I should have known better. That's all I want. That's just what I want to show you guys.
No, he was
because he used to take longer to get dressed than me. He used to wear he was like an African Mandingo warrior. He was from West Africa.
Jussie Smollett dude.
He was from West Africa, and he literally was like a BBC. Look, I'm gonna show you. Look at him. Hold on, look at him.
Phil.
Look, and he's covered in baby oil.
Oh, yeah.
I kid you not.
Yeah, nah,
I kid you not.
Can somebody pass me something to drink, please?
Pass it. Pass it.
Phil, can you pass me something to drink, please?
Pass it.
What we got?
And that's 2012. I kid you not. That was 2012.
This is pretty wild. Like he's covered in baby oil on a date for real.
On a date with me, for
like
real.
his whole chest is baby oiled out.
I don't care.
And it's a deep V.
Man, that's wild.
It's Exhibit A. Y'all, it's a deep V. It almost goes to his belly button. He told me.
Okay, so let's get into that real quick.
That is the deepest V.
That's the deepest V I've ever seen.
That's the deepest V
Belly button. Like I've never seen a shirt like that.
Ever.
Okay.
For reason.
He made that. That's a custom. That's not what you cannot buy that at a store.
I don't want to see Phil.
We're at a restaurant. Look.
It's cool.
Look at the baby oil.
Go ahead, Casey. Hold on.
You remember the Wonder Twins, the one that can shape like water?
So how did you get with him and why was he with Diddy and what is he doing?
Okay, so he was a model. He lived in New York at the time I just moved from New York. He lived in New York. He was a model. And he told me like he worked through an agency. He would do promotional modeling. Sometimes he'd do Essence Fest. He'd do like I'm not giving his name. Right. And he would do like events, right? He'd do events. And he told me, he was like, yeah. I said, because sometimes we were talking, I was like, hey, have you ever heard of I heard Diddy has like wild parties. He's like, oh yeah, I've been to one. It was pretty wild. I'll never go back again. I said, tell me about it. And he said that he was hired through an agency, that the agency sent him a car and said, and he was like, well, where am I going? And they were like, we're not going to tell you. We won't tell you, but it'll be like in the Hamptons area or New Rochelle or wherever it was. And they took him there and he said it was like an orgy. He said people were doing a little bit of everything. Now, he never said he did butt stuff with other guys. But I know that he was always fiddling around back there. So
Right.
I'm just saying. Right. But I know that he said that they wanted him to perform with other women and that he wasn't for that. That was the gist of what he said. I'm sure he was lying because all his friends were gay.
There?
Huh?
What the hell is he doing there?
Working. He said he called it work.
But he said he's not going with other women?
No, he would mess around with other women. In Cassie's complaint, she said Diddy required her, wanted her to be with BBC's, right. Big Black, and that he wanted her to keep white nails because it would be in contrast to their chocolate skin. You saw that chocolate skin with that baby oil on it. Bro. Y'all saw Exhibit A.
You know, niggas
like
will say anything with a woman, bro. They just start spilling shit, bro.
I am his safe place, or was.
That's what I'm saying.
You are literally telling his business.
It's a decade later.
He told you all that stuff, and then he looked you straight in your eyes and said, girl, is that
Nigga like Richard Pryor, man.
Back to it. Okay.
He totally made it as though it was that. Yeah. But so I just want to clarify.
And he saw Diddy a part of the festivities.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. He said he liked to watch.
What
he said
did
more so
he
that Diddy liked to watch.
Like Rick
running around that hole.
That's in the whole
light,
thing.
he said the light was super dim.
That
He
nigga's
said you
having
could
a
hardly
time.
really see who you were like
Oh,
paired
no.
up with,
And you know
kind of thing.
what's crazy though? Because as they go into the archives, he was openly telling all this stuff on national platforms.
Yes.
He was
Who
on
was?
Diddy.
Oh
He was
yeah.
on Conan O'Brien where he talked about where he is all alcohol. He turns the AC off to make sure the heat gets them in the ambiance, as he said. He was on he was on something else where he was talking about it. And then they had it to where they was bringing up old clips of him doing these parties, and then it was Ashton Kutcher was brought up where he talked about Diddy parties. He was like, yeah, we can't really talk about those. It gets weird. And this was like decades
You
ago.
say Conan O'Brien said that?
No, Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton
Diddy was
said
on-
it gets. If Ashton
He used
said
to
it gets
throw those-
weird, Ashton and his wife don't even bathe all the
Yes.
time. They
Yeah.
talk about bathing once a week.
Yeah, white
when
people say
it's
Ashton
weird.
Kutcher and his dirty ass behind his little dookie bootum says it's weird. Oh baby, it's strange.
Yes.
It's got to
If
be
it's-
weird though.
If it's if it's okay, if he's throwing these parties, like he's doing something illegal because Hugh Hefner.
So here's the problem.
You know what I'm saying?
The freak nasty party is not the illegal part.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to assume, all the hookers are from in the state, right? They're all New York hookers. The problem is this. What he was doing is afterwards, he'd tell people, I got a sex tape of you.
Yeah.
And if you don't do what I want, I'm going to release it.
So extortion.
Extortion. And sex-based extortion is a component of the trafficking. Because he would then say, if I want you to now do it again. And if you don't do it again, I'm going to
put the
release this
tape out.
photo of you.
Oh,
And now you have to do it at this other location, at this other event. That's the problem.
damn.
Now, do you think he has politicians? He got the key to the city. Do you think that's a part of it? You think it's a
Yes.
big thing?
I think it's a big thing.
Epstein
because
shit?
here's the thing: when you have somebody so high profile that's been getting away with it for 20 years, you feel more inclined to do these things. So I read Kim's alleged book, right? Kim's Lost Words is what it's called.
It just came out. Huh?
It's full of doo-doo. Okay, it's full of shit. But in it, Kim talks about how she had all these threesomes with Diddy. She talks about having a threesome with Jada and Will. And that Jada and Will like to fuck her pregnant.
Damn.
Allegedly. Yes. Pregnant. Now, them two are weird. We know it. Look at how weird their kids are. It's like generations of weird shit, right? 3. Because the mama's weird too. Jada's mama's weird. I'm gonna say she's weird because Jada tells a story of how she told her mom she had lost her virginity and the mother grabbed her hand and said, "Oh my God, I wish I could have been there." Bitch, what? No, this is not for grandmothers.
LP.
This is a one-on-one incident.
We talked about getting 100 million. Now this episode is it's either gonna get us that tomorrow or we're not getting 100 million ever.
Casey, you were going to something. What you got? You were about to say.
Allegedly.
Hold on, Casey.
Another thing that was going on that was brought up was underage.
Yeah.
And so, and then again, archives of him talking about this stuff openly. Bieber was Usher's protege, and apparently they spent together like 2 days. And
Bieber and Usher?
no,
Bieber
Diddy.
and Diddy.
Bieber and Diddy.
Damn.
And like decades later, Bieber as a grown man, I think he was talking about Billie Eilish. I could be wrong, but he was saying like how he just wanted to protect her so she don't go through the things that he went through.
Damn.
She spilled that whole Jello shit in her titties.
I was trying to keep it together. I'm sorry.
Not the whole thing, for real.
Phil, you
gone.
missed it.
It's gone. I'm sorry, guys.
You missed it, Phil.
So I mean, but yeah, like
No, I can't even get it. I'm just have to sit here with it. It's like I got a glob
shit
of jelly in my bosom.
and so yeah, I mean that's just wild. That's wild. That's like that. That's wild.
No, absolutely. But here,
That's some
I want
Diddy
you to
shit.
listen. I want you guys to pay close attention to how Justin Bieber is going to be treated in this, and let me know if you think that it's fair. My anticipation is Justin Bieber will be treated like a victim. He's going to be the only one treated like a victim. Why? Because he looks sympathetic. He's a sweet little white boy. versus all the other, because I feel Usher should be as much of a victim as because Usher came into it as a young man. Bow Wow should be as much of a victim. Bow Wow was a young boy when this happened. So you need to treat Bow Wow the way you treat Bieber if you're going to go through this. I'm not saying that Bieber is not a victim and doesn't deserve, kind victim treatment.
But everybody does.
Everybody, brown or white, deserves that same treatment.
Hey, this is the saddest shit that's probably ever about to happen to someone that we was at the top.
Yeah.
This shit is sad, bro.
It's not sad to me for him though.
It's
the victims.
Well, he's talking about like just.
I'm not talking about for him
with Diddy.
Yeah,
it's just sad in that sense. Like,
that sense.
Like, nigga, you went out like that.
I don't agree, but that's your opinion. I just feel like he knew what he'd been doing this whole time. It caught up to him. The downfall is there. Own up to it. It's not sad in the sense where, oh my gosh, we lost this black icon.
Yeah, no.
He was an evil person doing these evil things.
Yeah.
And now it's brought to light. And then what's even worse, how I see it, this dude morals and integrity was so corrupt that he tried to parade this facade of brother love on everybody when he was knowingly still doing this bullshit.
Yeah.
And now this is out. And it's inevitable.
Yeah.
They got the dude on Suicide Watch. It's almost the same timeline. And then actually the irony of it, it's the same people that was watching Epstein, I heard.
Yeah, I don't personally believe a Suicide Watch.
But no, you gotta do that. You gotta do that because they'll be held accountable if something happens.
It's a formality.
I think
it's not special.
It's the nature of the case. It's a high profile case.
He used the main word though. When we hear the sadness for this man's legacy and shit, it's almost like a cop out to accountability for what is happening. Can't you like all that stuff happened and it was great. The music was great. We loved it. But then we go into celebrating it and then it makes it a conflict to what's been happening or what's been coming out.
Now, I will say, I don't think they're saying that it's sad in the sense of, oh man, the downfall of Diddy is a sad thing. I think they're speaking to it from a place, and I'm gonna use wrestling as an analogy. When Hulk Hogan went to the NWA, all the Hulkamaniacs were hurt. Because this was our hero and you've been doing this whole time. So, but what I'm saying is we watched Diddy from the beginning, you know what I'm saying? When he's dancing in the videos and doing all of that,
sad,
and he was a waste. He was a huge impact in our culture, in our music, in our day-to-day lives. You can't get in the car without hearing something that he was a part of. So I think it's more so a sense of, damn, I fucked with you. It's like a hurt for us in that sense.
I hear that, but then it's the same cycle that we went through and we watched with R. Kelly, and I mean to this day we're still going through. People,
it's a struggle.
It's a struggle, and it could be a struggle.
Yeah,
but the part that gets, I guess, that makes it a conflict is that when people go to celebrate even his music,
it's still,
and they make it a whole, is brought out to be a whole thing. And I'm not even just focusing on in the room. I'm saying in general, because it's a lot of people that do it. You see it on Twitter, they just openly, just randomly, oh, I still fuck with R. Kelly music, and it's a division.
And we
causing a divide.
And then
please keep stepping in the name of love. Please do so on behalf of the victims. As an attorney who represented one of them, keep stepping because it's the only way the victims will get paid. They actually seized.
So I don't feel bad playing his music in the club no more.
Play it, DJ.
Because that's a struggle in the DJ community.
That's a tough place to be in.
Oh, tell your friends.
All of us have daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and we look at that and it's like, you a sick motherfucker, but that shit jam.
So just to clarify, there's an actual court
but
order.
I'm saying that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't like what he did. This is deplorable. This is the worst thing you could ever do. But if I'm at a party and this comes on, I'm probably gonna get up and dance.
And right
you know
now, what happened is, so the current court order says the first $4 million goes to his victims. After that is like the studio he didn't pay and like bullshit, right?
So he don't see none of it.
He's right, exactly. He doesn't see it. That's the point. He's the victims have only gotten the first $2 million. So I need you guys to keep stepping, step. In the name of love, we got to get them their full $4 million first, so they can be whole.
That's crazy that you can play that to help.
Literally.
Yeah, that's
It's weird.
The irony in that is crazy.
That's crazy.
man.
I was gonna say, I know all of y'all watched Last Dance like 25 times.
I watch it every night.
With that Caucasian lady skipping and hopping.
The last
No, that's Save the Last Dance.
Oh.
We're talking about the
hell
night.
no.
We're talking about the Bulls, man.
Hey, I never got through that movie, bro. I never got through that movie.
I was really like, why?
But I was gonna
my
say,
uncle for taking us that shit.
but anyway, I was gonna say we've been watching Diddy all these years, like I think Silk said. So it's just like, dog. I thought about this the other week. He never had, you know how Jay-Z got Tata and Emery and all them guys around. LeBron got his guys.
Yeah.
P. Diddy never had a people around him, or like that one dude that keep him out the way, or that'll say,
Great point.
nah, this ain't it. I only brought up Last Dance because Jordan had his security people, but amongst those security people, he had that dude Gus, and that part right there, like,
That
told
one
me
person.
a lot.
That one person.
That's what I'm saying. It make me look at Jordan differently.
For a while, it was Michael Bivins.
Michael Bivins. That's okay.
Huh?
That's what I'm
Wait,
saying.
Michael Bivins for Diddy?
For Diddy.
Yeah.
Is it?
Whoa.
He hung around him. He was like,
What era?
that was the Making the Band era and shit. He had him on the TV show and shit.
But
You're
was he, that's what I'm
No,
saying. but-
they were like this.
Well,
like
we're a full freak off at this point.
Nah,
That's
I'm
what
not
I'm saying.
putting him in that. I'm just saying like.
No, I'm
in
saying as far as Diddy. I'm not saying Michael Bivins is a part of
was
that,
he
but I'm
that
saying
guy?
he's already in that
was-
mode.
He would openly say like, "This is my guy right here." Like if it goes through, he the one that I remember. That shit.
Yeah, but
distinctive.
is
That
he
may
that
be
guy to
only on
tell
some-
you, hold up, and walk in the house and see shit going on? Man, what's this, baby?
Well, we
Man,
don't
what's
know
this
that.
shit?
Nobody
That's what
would know
I'm
that.
saying.
That may be only on some music.
When you
CEO
said
shit.
the examples, I'm saying Michael Bivins at that point. I remember that era. Michael Bivins was his right hand guy. Like that was the guy that
remember
was
that.
always around him.
he was on the show a lot and everything.
So
Yeah.
let's get into the racketeering, because that's the piece that I think has a lot of people separate of Diddy like nervous, because now you're bringing in like a criminal organization.
So does that have anything to do with all of the CEOs that are just
We don't know.
The music
And
business
I'll
fucked
speak
up.
to that
I don't
real
think
quick.
so.
It looks
I
crazy.
don't think that it's directly related to Diddy. I think it's directly related to the fact that we are at the end of Q3. You're in finance, you understand.
Yeah,
correct.
We're at the end of Q3. So what generally happens is people announce that they're stepping down.
True.
And it'll be effective at the end of the year. Right? But they make the announcement now, and they're required to make the announcement now so that it can go into the Securities and Exchange statement.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's coordinated with Diddy, but I don't believe that it really is.
I didn't feel that way either.
I didn't feel that way.
Now,
it was just a lot at one time, and then it was. I think it's more ironic.
it happens all the time.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's been happening like 3 months ago.
It's been happening
People
all
been
the
stepping
time.
down, yeah.
So racketeering, and this will be kind of one of our last things before we jump into the jokes, if there's any in this. There's people who are nervous about this. Like I would imagine that the agencies that were supplying the escorts or the workers,
Right.
the person who supplied the 1,000 bottles of baby oil is crazy.
Amazon, we know it's you. Amazon, Jeff Bezos.
I don't
How
think-
you not asking no questions?
I don't
You're
think there's-
delivery
I
man.
don't think on Amazon you could buy 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I don't think.
course you
I don't
can.
think you can.
Of course.
No, they're going to
You can
ask
buy
more
like
questions.
a 3-pound bag of gummy bears.
They're not asking questions about baby
And
oil. bro.
1,000 bottles.
Baby oil and lube. Where are you putting all this baby oil?
And
Baby
that-
oil and sex is a beautiful thing. I'm just gonna keep it real.
No, but you're
if
gonna
you got a
slip and
good mirror,
slide.
you got a good mirror, baby oil, sex.
The
is
right
wonderful.
light.
It's sticky.
But
Yeah.
racketeering. So who all could be
Good time.
potentially involved in this
So
racketeering piece?
here's what I think they're really going to go for with the racketeering. I think they're going to go for a murder.
Whoa.
I
was
do.
gonna go there, but go ahead.
I believe that one of the murders that has been rumored to be associated with Diddy, they're going to pull into it. And I say this because if you look at the YSL trial, they use racketeering, but their linchpin are the murders of, I believe it's like 2 different people. Here, there's a lot of murders associated with Diddy. So to start, we've got Tupac, we've got Biggie. The alleged book from Kim states that Diddy had found out that not only was Notorious Big about to leave him, but he was about to leave and start a record label with Tupac. And he said, I'm not protecting him, but it went even further. The implication was not only am I not protecting him, but I am going to make sure that he cannot succeed and do this against me. And by their death, he now owns Diddy's catalog or the right to license it, none of which would have been possible if Notorious Big would have stayed alive, etc. So we've got that one. We've got the guy Shakur. I forget his last name, but Shakur was one of Kim's ex-boyfriends who mysteriously passed away. He was mysteriously unalived.
Stewart, right?
Shakur, Stewart, yes, Stewart. He mysteriously unalived himself after being in a relationship with her. Then we've got Al B. Sure. He had a mysterious illness. Al B. Sure had a mysterious illness. Then we've got Kim Porter. We all know that was extremely mysterious. Now, according to this book that I read, which I don't believe, and she knew she was dying and she sends a text message to friends that says, he got me. The reason I don't believe it is because if that had happened, it would be part of the file of the medical examiner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, what do you think about Keefe D is in custody, right? And he's talking. He been talking.
I think
that's
the
why
best
he
one.
got into. That's what I'm saying. So if they
just need one.
how can they merge the two cases? If he's on case for whatever he's on case for, what they got, how can they merge the two?
So his case is state. I believe it's Vegas. Vegas or California? Yeah, Vegas. So all they have to do, they can take what he says, and it'll be part of the RICO.
Because they were saying that
RICO sticks best when you have a murder.
So this guy, I guess he was a bodyguard for Diddy back in the day. His name is Gene Deal.
Gene Deal. Yeah, there's Gene Deal and there's Roger Bond. Go ahead.
So
Kept the
Gene
files.
Deal has been talking about this stuff
for years.
Yeah. When he first started talking, I'm like, oh man, he's a disgruntled.
He got fired.
Everybody got fired.
That's what I thought.
he got
I thought he was disgruntled.
Yeah.
But then as I started listening more and more, I kept looking at his interviews because they were compelling.
Yeah.
I said, nah, bro might be telling.
He's a star witness. So Gene Deal will be a star witness. Roger Bond will be a star witness. Shyne will probably
I was going to go there next.
a star witness. Do we want to talk about Shyne?
Yes. So I want to know, how can they bring back up that shooting? How?
So this is the power of a RICO charge. So generally, the federal statute of limitations is 5 years. But for RICO, there's not one. Okay? There's not one. They got it all. That's how you can go back to the 1999 or 1998
It was
shooting 99
or 2000.
involving Shyne.
And the girl came out recently and said, I saw him shoot the gun when it hit me in my, I think it was her nose.
Yeah, in her face. She said, I saw him. And so therefore, part of RICO is we have this criminal enterprise that covers up crimes. So whereas this woman was unable to get justice later in life, because now, to clarify, she got a civil suit. She received cash money coins. But what she wants now is that the true person who did it to go to jail. She did not want Shyne to go to jail for that. And Shyne already has. He did 10 years.
Did
for
she
this.
testify in the first one?
She testified.
She did.
Said
And
that
she
Diddy said that Diddy did it?
Yeah.
But Shyne was willing. You know how people back in the 90s,
he was
you
like,
would take
nah,
the
that was
case.
right.
You know, and that's what happened to him. And then
Just being young. And
he came out recently and he was talking in Brazil and he was
Belize.
Belize, excuse me. And he said, this man ruined my life. Like we're not, they was like, if they want to bring up me being on stage with him recently at the BET Awards, he was like, that man sent money to my organizations. He was like, I'm gonna accept that because it's gonna help them. That doesn't mean we're friends or anything like that. But at the same time, I'm not wishing him any ill will because
you don't have to, because God's got this.
That's what he kept saying. He was like, I'm beyond that. That's not on me. That's not on my palate. I don't care for that.
And
so that's where he at with it.
I was about to say it's sad because that's when Shyne was just taking.
Man, I
He
love
was
that
just.
He's a good looking man, and I just want
He
to
looks
say
like
that as a
Obama.
single woman.
Obama? He looks like Obama to me.
Yeah,
He does.
Yeah,
He looks like a
yeah,
younger
yeah,
Like the
so that-
Belizean version of
With a-
Obama.
Hey,
with
I
a
have
little
a
Harry
passport. Shyne,
Belafonte.
if you're watching this, I have a passport.
Okay, last thing.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think happens next? Like, what's the steps for Diddy? What's the steps for the feds?
Right.
What will we see? Because your crystal ball was really accurate a year ago. What happens a year from
I
now?
think what we're going to see are additional charges.
Damn.
I think we're going to see additional charges added.
What more charges can there be?
I think it might be an unaliving
Murder.
charge. I think there could be an unaliving charge where they have, because here's the thing with RICO, the evidence doesn't have to be as tight and all bowed up, tied up, in the same way that other charges have to be. Because with RICO, you're able to point to the fact that he has a fixer and the fixer paid this person and did this. You can kind of trace and track the money with RICO. I also believe that little drug mule who got arrested and got just slapped on his wrist
Little white
for the
one?
state charges. Yeah, the little dirty one. Brendan Paul.
Brendan Paul.
Yeah, he looks like he doesn't take baths. That one.
Didn't he play college football or something?
He did.
Allegedly.
He said he
Football or
did.
basketball? Basketball. He's a big
basketball,
boy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
He's a
yeah,
tall
but he
boy.
played in college though.
Right.
Yeah, he played in college. That young man, I believe he's going to sing like a canary.
Of course.
And why not? He was given probation on the state level. And so that helps the feds because if you have someone facing severe charges, when people look at them as a witness and whether or not they can trust their testimony, it's more difficult. But if you have somebody looking at minor charges, you're like, oh, they're not going to lie to get rid of this minor charge, but you would absolutely freaking lie to get rid of a murder charge.
Correct.
So I think, and I also think he's seen a lot. If you're the drug mule, you've seen freak offs, you've seen all of the drugging of people, all of those
The
things.
work of your work.
Yes. So that's why I say I think there are going to be additional charges. Right now, there's just 3 counts. And I would not be surprised if something is connected to someone's unaliving. I don't know who.
All right. Well, tell the people where they can find you again. We got to take a quick break because we're going to do a Patreon here in a second as well. So,
Awesome.
So please.
All right, so you can find me. I'm Attorney Symone, your legal bestie at Girl, Is That Legal on YouTube as well. Shut up. As well as on Instagram at Attorney Symone Redwine and TikTok at Is That Legal?
All right.
We have reached the end of the episode. We are going into our Patreon where Ms.
Symone Redwine,
Thank
Attorney
you.
Bestie.
Symone Redwine, Attorney Bestie, is going to be telling about the freak offs. But we're taking this to our Patreon. So if you want to hear about this, go ahead and dive into our Patreon. You will have a grand old time over there. And yeah, we out.
Okay.